everyone, and welcome to an all-new episode of Tales from the Tavern. Everybody's laughing because Waffles literally started a joke when I said hello. So, we can all hear the punchline together. It'll be great. I just took you off mute, Waffles, if you'd like to share your joke with everybody.
All right, so the joke is, what is a pirate without eyes?
Fine.
What?
It's a freight.
What?
A freight.
Spell
it.
All right.
That is one of those bad applesauce jokes.
I love it. I love it. I love stuff like that. It's the same thing along the lines of, what do you call a fish with no eyes? Shh. All right.
I need to come down here. Hey guys, what's up?
Let's see. Let's go around and have everybody introduce themselves. Generally we go in alphabetical order, but because I wanted to keep Waffles and Syrup kind of in the same side of the screen, actually this did kind of work out, but originally they wouldn't have been next to each other. Anyway, Beaz, we're going to start with you. So this is Pirate Beaz.
Hello all, I be Pirate Beaz. I be all on the internet getting booty and nope.
Nope.
I take that back. Nope. Never mind. What is up, everybody? I am keeping this on. I'm just letting you know I am going to be cosplaying Pirate Beaz the rest of this stream. So yeah. But hello, everyone. I am your happy, helpful harbinger of hype. I am Big Beaz. I am a variety streamer, speedrunner, TTRPG content creator, voice actor. I do a lot. I'm just a loud guy on the internet. And yeah. Arr.
That's it. That's everything. Beaz also has this very cool podcast that he's currently working on. So I'm going to drop the link in chat.
Do you like Digimon? Do you like stuff? Do you like great acting? Do you like pretty decent, I like to say decent editing? Definitely check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's the link to that. If anybody wants to go check that out on Spotify, you can find his Digimon podcast there. Next, Shannon, tell us all about yourself.
Hey, everybody. So I am an artist, author, astrologer, do all kinds of shit. I also have a stream, Imaginif Media, where we host and provide opportunities for everybody who likes to create, play, and heal. I have a podcast, Bring Joy Forward, as well, and you can find all my fancy links at imaginif.shop. And I am sort of new to the streaming world. I started in October and just basically said, I'm never leaving. This is amazing. And so, yeah, so I join a bunch of actual plays when I can get in them. I'm on Roll D5 every once in a while, Ain't Got Crit every once in a while. So I'll give those guys a plug as well. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I know, I'm excited to have you. And Shannon will be part of the Extra Life Charity Stream Weekend Extravaganza starting at the end of the month.
Hell yeah.
So more about that later on, but yeah. All right. And next, we have Steve the Dragon, who is filling in tonight because one of our guests was sick and unable to join us, unfortunately. But we will get them back on in a future stream. We'll look at dates and all of that stuff. So we're going to skip over Steve because he's actually very quiet and shy. He doesn't like to talk very much. And we're going to go to Syrup.
Oh, hi. All right, I will take off the sunglasses just for a little bit so you see my face, even though I look phenomenal, apparently, in a mustache, as I learned today. But hello, everybody. I am Syrup. I am one half of Waffles Maple Syrup. My partner right up there is the other half. We love what we do. If you're not familiar with Waffles Maple Syrup, we create high quality, mostly Pathfinder TTRPG content, brimming with positive energy, creative storytelling, and engaging characters. And we live stream this on Twitch to foster a wonderfully vibrant community that empowers underrepresented voices and champions inclusivity, reflecting what is important to us, which is the Jewish value of Tikkun Olam, which is repairing the world one epic tale at a time.
I love that. That's very cool. Well, I'm glad it worked out for you guys to come back and join us. So Waffles, let's hear from you.
Hi, I'm the other half of Waffles Maple Syrup. I do a bunch of the background stuff like SEO and editing.
Talk about O&O.
Yeah, and our main show O&O, a bunch of magical kids in classrooms. I play android, which is my representation of autism in the fantasy world.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Yes, and if you haven't checked out their stream/podcast, definitely give that a look. That's a Pathfinder 2nd edition. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. And they have a phenomenal cast and all that good stuff. So definitely worth it. And I am Gamer Mom Luna. This is Tales from the Tavern. So if you are new here and don't know how this stream works, let me tell you. Basically, everything that we talk about is going to come from questions from chat. So if you have questions for anybody here, go ahead and just drop your question right in the chat. If you can start it with the word question, that helps us just pick it out real quick. But I have a moderator who is standing by to get those questions to us so we can talk about them. And I also have channel points that you can use. You can redeem them for an Ask My Question Next. If you've been here a while and you've got 1,000 channel points racked up, you can have your question bumped up to the next one in the queue. So, you don't have to wait for too long for us to get to your question. We also have, I would be remiss to not mention this, we do have cat treats that are available. However, I don't have any cats in the room right now. So if somebody redeems cat treats and there's no cats in the room, I promise they will get them. I just can't promise it'll happen while we're on stream, because once we moved, the cats kind of forgot where my desk was. So they don't come down anymore.
There's one right here, actually.
There you go.
Yes, Beaz, you're a little
now
far
I need to
away for me
catch
to
you.
give you cat treats, but
Just
All right.
throw them at the screen.
yeah, right. Here you go, Beaz. Here's a cat treat for you. I'm getting it out of my desk. Lord Richter just redeemed cat treats for cats. So, here you go. It's a chicken and turkey soft, moist recipe.
Yum.
Here you go, Beaz. Ready?
I'm ready. Whatever you.
All right. So
Mm.
let's get started. The first thing that I always like to ask, especially when we have new people on, Beaz probably knows what question is coming because he's answered it a bunch of times. If you are playing at a physical table with actual dice, do your dice have to match?
Yes.
You'd be
I
surprised
mean,
the number of people that say no.
Like a set? Is that what you mean by match?
Yeah.
Like they?
Like, do you have to use a set, or do you have like a bunch of different colors that make up a set, or are
If
they
I'm
just
playing
all
as a
metal?
player-
What do you do?
If I'm playing as a player, I like to have try my best to like pick a set that or a couple sets, like 2 to 3, in case one rolls really crappy and I have to put it in jail. Of like that match the character aesthetic. However, I don't get to play in person enough, so I use it as an opportunity to just like use my pretty dice. And I'm like, I've been hoarding you for so long. Let me actually take you out.
I like to have one set and then multiple of other dice that I might need. So like I'll have one set and then I'll have 2 more d20s and 2 more d6s, and they're just like in case I'm gonna roll bad with my d20 or I need to roll with advantage or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That makes sense.
I need all the D20s because you never know which one is going to be put in timeout. And I also like to have them for specific characters. So I like to match this really cool lava set for my warlock and things like that.
Heck yeah.
Need all the
I-
click clacks though.
I am chaotic. No, I will try. I will like, this is a nice set of dice. I can't wait to roll with them. And then the first roll, if it's anything like in that like smallest percentile, like yeet, throw it somewhere and hopefully find it later. Give me about 15 minutes into a game and I have almost an entirely mixed set of dice at that point.
I talk about this quite a bit, but all of my dice, like, I have to use a set. And if, like, one rolls bad, I have to get rid of the whole set and bring out a different set. Like, I can't just swap out that one die. And all of my dice sets are stored separately from each other. So they're all in their own, like, case or box. Or I just have to show this off because I'm excited about it. I finally got myself a Talon and Claw
Heck yeah.
dice
Nice.
case. And I love it. It holds my liquid core dice.
Very
Ooh.
nice.
Yeah.
I just finally got some things to organize my dice in. They were like at the art store, and there were the
Nice.
little like cubby ones, and I'm like, wait, I could just use these for dice.
Yeah.
Does anybody have creative dice storage?
I am.
Inspo,
Beaz is like,
the
"Not
big
really."
bag of doom.
Yeah.
I'm working
And that's-
on a dice rack.
I have one like that as well.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little book
Spell
as
book.
well. Mhm.
And this
Yeah,
sack
yeah.
is not. This is not my doing. This is because I horrified somebody to the point where they bought this. Because my original dice method was I think I got a box around here maybe, and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a whole bunch of dice probably in a box or scattered around my desk." And they were like, "Sweet mother of God, I need to get you something so that you can be somewhat civilized with your dice."
There was
I have
one
the
that I
giant like bag of holding, set, and then I
Yes.
have like little sets inside the bag of holding too. Like this is pull this out for this character, and
That's
yeah.
what I had, and then I moved it to the things where I could see them because I realized like I couldn't see the dice that I wanted to like see all the sets and everything.
I'm working
But
on, like I mentioned, a dice rack. So these are spice jars.
That.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to like eventually get all of them into a jar like this and then get a rack.
Little potion bottles.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, I saw somebody had a really, really cute display. Star Shinobi, I know some of you are
Yes.
familiar, just did that, and I was like, I want that.
I want that. Can you come over and do my dice next?
I do have in person versus stream dice. You know what I mean? Like if I'm
Yeah.
traveling, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually have
That's
the
fine.
Zelda Shield backpack that's all my dice stuff in it.
That's cool.
I like that.
Yeah. I pretty much the only rule is like if I'm playing on stream, I just have to make sure like if I'm using real dice when I'm on stream, I have a mouse pad that I keep on my desk for my mouse, but also for rolling dice. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a little clicky clack tray that like flattens out,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I take one of those with me
Same.
when I play at the game store. That's
I,
particularly
if I am
Go ahead.
if I roll dice in real life, then they're gonna be loud.
Wait, there's the one that I like have told you you're not allowed to roll on the
Oh,
the
my-
dining
my-
room
my-
table because
my
it's
chonks?
glass.
I love the
table's glass.
chunks. I'm
That's
all
a-
about the chunks.
That is a like steel
that a D100?
D100.
Yeah.
Oh my
Watch, I'll drop.
goodness.
I'll drop
Pure
it.
metal.
I'll drop it real quick. Hold on.
Oh, that didn't even come through.
It
I
didn't
didn't
come
come through.
through.
Yeah,
I got
I'll
something-
put mine
I got
out.
something in-
That
I
one
see your
come through.
giant.
Okay.
I see your giant ball, and I raise you.
I can't see it.
Hold on. Ugh. All right, I gotta.
Yours
I gotta-
isn't big
Put
enough.
it in front
to
of
fit
your
on
eye
camera.
patch.
Wow. I'm sorry. It's just cold in here. Okay. Jesus. No, this
Oh.
metal D20. Get
Oh, your
Yeah.
pirate
out
hat.
of here. There.
The
No, that's
pirate will
nice.
not be
Oh my God,
denied.
the
Yeah,
pirate,
right.
the pirate is having this. Wait, if I move, can I make the D20 a pirate?
No,
Needs to
sadly,
have a
that'd be
face.
really cool.
If that was the case, y'all wouldn't see me anymore. It would just be the D20 the rest of this stream.
Oh, it worked on the graphic.
Oh,
Oh my
let's-
gosh.
We did it.
That's
terrible.
funny. All right, we're starting to get a bunch of questions in from chat. So the next one that we have is from Lord Richter. And Lord Richter says, talking of pets, are you pro pets modifying roles or anti pets modifying roles? I have several cats that like to bat dice as they are rolled.
I mean, I think we don't have cats. We have 2 dogs. So I don't feel
They probably
qualified.
should not be helping to roll your dice.
Exactly. They don't really touch them. Like, however, conceptually, I think that is if you haven't like settled on the roll or haven't looked at the roll and the cat bats it in the midst of the roll, I mean, that's fair play.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same. I'm pro as long as I don't want it to be like if we've been pro all night and it's a life or death situation and the cat bats it, you're like no. Then like sorry, it's been fair game all night. It's
Yeah.
like it's gotta stay the same the whole time.
Consistency.
I've never
cats,
really
no
thought
dice.
about it, mostly because my cats, like, if they get up on the table during a game, we pretty much immediately remove them from the table. So
That's fair.
I do have a really cute video though. One time I was playing a game while sitting on my bed. We were playing over Discord, and we weren't using cameras or anything like that. So I was on my laptop and I was rolling into that dice tray, that travel dice tray, and every time I would roll, one of my cats would come diving in and like bat the die right out of the tray. And it was hysterical. She did it for like a solid 30 minutes. And so I would just sit there and roll the die while we were playing just to keep her entertained. It's somewhere on my
That's so
my
cute.
TikTok if anybody wants to see it. And probably my Instagram too, but you got to dig way back for it.
Yeah, my cats don't like me, so I don't have to worry about it. They don't go anywhere around me because they know if they do, I will grab them and I will just hold them. So my cats, every time I see people post stuff online, I'm like, no, that's just propaganda from Big Cat, because my cats don't do any of that stuff at all,
Big
ever.
cat.
All right, so yeah, so I don't have to worry about it because I'm like, hey, I'm playing a game. Come on, Peaches, come here. And he's like, you got food for me? You don't have food. All right, well then go to hell. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, no, fine.
You need those moist cat treats.
Yeah, you need those.
yeah. Then he just eat the food and then walk off.
Yeah. I feel bad. We keep saying trees. We do have our pet bunny lives in the office where our computers are, and I'm like, every time I say treats, I feel like I see his head pick up a little bit. Like, what you got over there? We keep joking
was
that
that
we
for
need a bunny treats button, and we should get like a bunny camera trained on him. But he would get so many treats, it would be unhealthy. All right. Let me see. Where'd the questions go? Okay, here we go. This one is from Ty. Ty would like to know, what is a moment that came entirely out of left field for you and made you cheer from a game that you have taken part in? I can think of a lot.
And say that again. That made you cheer.
That made, like, what's something that happened in a game that came entirely out of left field and made you like really excited for a game that you were in?
I feel like that happens like every 5 seconds for me in game.
That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to O&O and like literally as the GM, all the players keep doing things out of left field. It's my entire life.
Mine was the only one I can really remember is one that I did a long time ago, back in it wasn't a streamed game, but I had this like old wizard that when we were chasing some demons down a mine, I jumped into the elevator shaft and polymorphed midair into like a gorilla, and then we ended up having this 2-round fight because it took like 12 seconds for the elevator to fall down, and we had this like 2-round fight down a falling elevator shaft.
It was epic.
It was so fun.
Nobody was ready for that. That definitely. Yes. I'm so bad at recalling, so I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at chat.
ADHD
Lord Richter
for
just
you.
said in chat, I was Shatnered during a diplomacy speech between pirates and paladins. Somewhere there is a video.
Wait, there's a video. There's
The only one that's coming into my head right now is was an in-person game as well, not streamed, and we were playing in hell against the 4 horsemen, and one of our players was gifted this like magic one-shot, one-kill pencil, but it had, I don't remember exactly the particulars, but there were all these parameters that had to fall in line in order for it to work. And he nat 20'd. He got shot out of a cannon, like a made-up cannon thing that one of the other players had created. Shot out of the cannon and stabbed Death in the chest with the pencil.
Wow.
So for the rest of the campaign, it was like he was the guy that killed Death. It just kept coming up everywhere. So it was pretty sweet.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Comparatively, the only one is like a more recent one that I can think of, which is when my players decided like it was a rather serious roleplay moment where they were like bringing some folks they had captured to the local authorities and everything, and I introduced an NPC that I like pulled out of nowhere, but I made him this I mean, I didn't do it on purpose, but this very sexy catfolk, man that has like deep speech and kind of looks like a mountain lion. And then the rest of that was, instead of it being anything remotely serious, was the rest of the party teaching one of the characters what thirsty meant in character about what that was. And I was like, oh, this is happening. Okay, great. This is great. That was the rest of the night.
I blame Duval.
I do blame Duval.
I think that's just a general, like, just blame Duval.
Yeah.
It's the easy way out.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I've had one game with Duval, and I already know that's accurate.
Yeah.
The two that come to mind right now, I can't talk about because they haven't been released. Okay, well, I can kind of talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry. I am now in space now because Lord Richter wanted me to Shatner this question, and this is the closest thing. So I was playing a game, and there was this one guy who came out in a circus, and it was a performance to say the least. There was singing, there was dancing, there was horribly haunting specificities when it came to people's fears. And I'm gonna leave it at that. It will be coming. I'm just check out. Wait, god damn it! Now my brain then shut off. Oh my god, Darkened States. There we go. That's all I'm saying. It's coming out soon.
Okay.
No, come back to float away.
I think probably the first one that I remember is, well, I mean, there's others that I remember, but the first one that really like made me super excited about a game was one, was probably one of the it was the first game that I had ever streamed, and it was a Pathfinder first edition game, and I was playing a rogue. She was like a level, I don't know, 1, 2, somewhere in that ballpark, and her name was Edabrix, and this is actually how she got her nickname of Edabrix. We were fighting, I don't even remember what the enemy was, but it was something that could fly. And we were in sort of this like underground, I don't even know what the word for it is. It wasn't really a dungeon, but there was like a stage area and whatever. So the enemy was kind of flying, a quasit. That's what it was. It was a quasit. And so the quasit's like flying around up above, but because Edabrix was a halfling, it was way out of reach for her. And so I'm like, okay, well, I want to try something. Like normally at the time I was very much like I'm just going to stand there and shoot it with my crossbow. And that was my turn, But I'm like, no, I really want to try this. So we did this thing where she ran, jumped up onto the stage, and then turned around from the stage and jumped up into the air with a goal of trying to hit the quasit with her sword. And it was like the first roll was like a nat 20, the second roll was like a 19, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. And then I rolled like a 4 to attack, and I was like, oh well, that was kind of a letdown. But it was like the first real time that I had gotten into a character like and made it more than just I attack again, that's my turn,
Yeah.
And so for me that was like a really big thing and got me super excited and sort of changed how I mean, not all the time, but sometimes like I'm a lot more thoughtful about how I attack stuff now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
All right, let's see. Mimics and Misfits. What is the best vessel for transporting the lost soul of a TTRPG character and why?
Very important question.
Yeah.
Real life or in the game?
It doesn't say, so I'm going to go with either. Or both.
Wait, you said the best vessel to transfer someone's soul.
No, transport someone's soul.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. That's
Okay.
what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah,
transport.
transport the lost soul of a TTRPG player. Character, not player. Please
All right,
don't be carrying around the soul of a lost player.
I'm just gonna give a short, simple answer. No further explanation. A body.
That's fair.
It's fair. Stuffed animal.
I'm gonna have to vote for probably the creepiest porcelain doll you can find. I think that's the best one, or like something akin to Chucky.
Oh no.
That's the direction I was going. So now I'm like,
I know. Part of me is like, well, now we're getting into phylacteries, and that's dangerous territory. And
I had a character that kept him in a gauntlet.
oh,
That's true.
interesting.
Same wizard that turned into a gorilla.
Yeah. The wizard that I met him with and fell in love with him. Okay, Shannon, I know
I
you
think it's
haven't answered yet.
no, that's fine. I was just gonna say I think it's character dependent.
Yeah.
Sure. I want to argue that the important piece here to transport, if your key goal as part of the question, I'm going to really analyze this question, just bear with me here, is the transportation. I'm going to assume you need the successful transportation of the object, right? So
that's
we need to
true.
ensure that this is something that's not going to get caught, that's not going to get taken away by guards or anything like that. So you're not going to want to do it in weaponry. You're not going to want to do it in armor because it's going to like potentially have a risk, right? So we want something unassuming. I think that's really important. So I went with stuffed animal, but I think you could go with like a flask or something like that you think is like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna notice. It's really, and I gotta think about it.
A book.
Ooh, a book. That's how you get talking books, though.
It's
Mm.
true.
All I can picture
they-
when you say a book, okay, this is gonna date myself a little bit. So, all I can picture when you say a book is that book from the original Care Bears movie from the 80s.
I've never seen anything Care Bears.
Yeah,
That's-
if you know the movie I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, then you have no idea.
Was that the thing you like? It opened up and like
There was a
shined
face
everywhere?
in it, and it was creepy.
Oh no, I don't know that one.
It's like the opposite, but still as creepy as the spoilers for Baldur's Gate, but as the book in Baldur's Gate 3.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
worry.
I'm
believe it
still
there.
in chapter 2, but that's okay. It's my own damn fault. I'm on
Yeah,
an Xbox.
Y'all,
us
y'all
too.
keep bringing up
Yeah,
these
same.
books, and the only thing that pops into my head is just boo.
Yes, yeah. That's a good one too. All right, let me see. This is the I just want to see if this works. Yeah. Okay, this is a link to the book that I'm talking about. I'm putting it in chat so people can see what I'm talking about. When you're like a little kid, that was creepy.
Oh my god, I didn't know that
It's
was
not
what that
loaded.
was from, but I remember that.
Yeah. Yep, that was the that character, that book was the main antagonist of that Care Bears movie that came out in the 80s. So yeah, I don't know.
Scroll.
All right, let's see. Ty has another question. What's the craziest character death you have witnessed?
Total party kill because somebody just randomly went and pulled out it was an object that we were going in to basically try to protect because it was going to blow up the entire city, and instead one of the players went and pulled the object out and we all just instantaneously exploded.
Oh my goodness.
Consequences.
consequences. Yeah.
Thinking Zeha Waffles.
That's the one I was gonna say. So go for it. Take it. Now come up with another.
I blame Waffles for this one because this was my death and Waffles killed me. It was a Starfinder campaign and it was oh God, you're gonna have to help me remember the exact details of it, but I remember it was very intense because I very much cared for this character and I was like not ready for her to die. But that was the will of everything that had happened. But I remember that I basically I was a technomancer and I went in to this like computer machine in attempts to like stop it. So my whole soul and everything got like basically stuck in this computer.
Yeah.
And then I had to make the worst decision ever, which was like stay alive or save somebody else. Like Waffles was like, I'm gonna make you have a difficult decision. And it was difficult.
Yeah.
And it was that or like lose all memory of my grandmother or something. It was like intense. It was a
Yeah.
yeah. It was rough. good, rough, but rough.
Consequence.
Consequences. It's true.
One of my, this isn't like the most memorable. Probably the one she just said is the most memorable, but this one was really funny and kind of memorable because of the game. So we were playing this game called Time Has Passed, where I came up with Pathfinder 2E, and you would jump back in time to keep the world from destroying. Like they were all in a destroyed world already, and they would jump back, blah blah blah. But towards the end, like they were like really high level, getting towards the end, like level 15 in Pathfinder or something like that, and they were like they were fighting the big bosses of each world basically. And one of our characters, who was like an alchemist that had a little owlbear, he had a little owlbear familiar, and he got chain lightning by this tree, and of course the owlbear got hit, which was sad.
Aww.
And so like we were like, dang, that's really sad that like the owlbear died. And then after that, like he got out just barely, but then when the tree died, it also exploded. And so they were like, no, the owlbear died, but at least I survived. And then the tree exploded and killed him too.
Yeah.
That's intense.
We have a little mascot for our channel after that little owlbear dude. And so if you want to award us a hero point when we're live, it's actually awarding us an owlbear nugget because he fried
the fried owlbear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
He'll live on forever in our emotes.
I can go next.
Okay.
All right. So I'm not going to give any names of anyone. I'm going to be as vague as possible because this is like major spoilers for something out there that people may be watching. I don't want to be the one to be like, yeah, so Bob Scott died, and they're like, no. But so there was just this overall like the last arc was this extremely evil entity, and it was starting to come over to the good side, and like it seemed to just be evil for the sake of not knowing better. So everybody had, it was like the end of The Last Airbender, where everybody got a turn to hang out with Zuko and then learn that, okay, this guy isn't bad, he's just misguided. So so that happened, everybody had their little like turn and little adventure with this being, and then it got to the end of everything, the final, the nitty-gritty, and this character had been gone for a while, kind of doing their own thing, finding themselves. And so like everybody's getting ready for the final save the world thing, and then they show up and everybody is just like, oh, okay, welcome back, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do. And one of the characters is like, no, I don't trust him. I don't trust them. They've been gone too long. Everything I've known about them is terrible. And so I'm just going to say it now, just in case anybody is listening. If you're listening to the Roaring Trainers podcast and you're not caught up, please turn away now. Please mute yourself, mute the stream, mute everything. So, just out of nowhere, they do a straight... Oh, wait, muting. Oh, I see someone muting. All right, hold up. Let me give it another couple seconds. All right. Somebody that's been there from like the beginning was just like, they had an argument and they were like, no, I'm sorry. It's fine. Don't worry. It's just a misunderstanding. And then turns around and is like, psych, and just wham right through the chest. And I was at work and I'm just screaming. I'm like, ah! So yeah, that caught me completely out of left field. But yeah, that one I wasn't ready. Yeah,
I think when something like that catches you off guard, it's like, yeah, it just totally throws you for a whole loop. I probably do have one, but I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
That one time that a character died.
Yeah, the one time. I did have a time. I've talked about this before. It was like way back in my early days of playing, and I had I was playing a centaur, and we were essentially spelunking, which is not great when you're a centaur. And I was the only person in the party that was strong enough to open a sarcophagus that we found while we were in this series of caves. So I opened the sarcophagus, and a vampire popped out and cast Slay Living. This was back in the 3.5 days, and I was like, well, that was a fun game.
I do want to know what that looks like, though, a centaur spelunking.
Yeah, it was. I had to.
That's all I'm
roll
thinking
at,
about
like,
right now.
Anytime we encountered stairs or anything like that, I had to make a roll to see if I could get down the stairs, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, all right.
At least you had your lucky horseshoes.
I know.
I want to know what character you built after that one.
I don't even remember.
a horrifying spider creature that can go up all the stairs.
Beaz, I'm
exactly.
arachnophobic.
You
It was
can
not a
counter
spider
it in
creature.
Then a non-spider gecko creature that could get up all the stairs.
Right.
It was a completely adorable little gecko.
Yeah.
Oh man.
A
Okay.
spider pig. Oh, I love the chat.
They're good. They're on tonight.
Love the chat.
Everything is a mimic. Well, okay. This has nothing. Well, it does have to do with a mimic, but we didn't kill it. I was actually playing a game. Bat Duck in chat was the one who mentioned the mimic, and I was playing a game with him, and I managed to. We encountered a door that was a mimic, and I managed to put it to sleep. So yeah, that was fun.
So you still couldn't get through the door.
Fortunately, we could, because when I put the door to sleep, it fell over.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
it. That's what we've been supposed to do this entire time. Is just
Yeah.
put the doors to sleep.
Yeah, just
You know
put
what
it
they-
to sleep.
You know what
Lesson
they call that? Unhinged.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here with the jokes tonight, Waffles.
It's breakfast humor.
It's good. I like it. It's right up my alley. This is exactly the type of humor I need on a Sunday night.
I'm here
All
for
right.
puns and bad dad jokes.
There's actually a title in my Discord called Pun Lord. So,
Nice.
Nice.
all right, let's see. Siren Sonnet had a question. And I feel like there's going to be some stories that need to be told here with this question. So, what's a time you remember that an offhand joke became canon?
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Mm.
I mean, chicken nuggets, the one we just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's probably the best example.
Yeah.
The only thing that's coming to mind, well, it was an in-game joke. And of course it's on my mind because I ran into the guy that was DMing this game today, and it was probably one of my first ever D&D games. And and so it basically was I was playing a character. I was playing a rogue, in case you hadn't noticed. There's kind of a theme here. I like playing rogues. And our party had stopped for the night, and because of the like scheduling and whatever, we did a couple of like one-offs here and there because we couldn't play for a couple of weeks. So the DM was like, "Oh, if you want to do something, we can do, like a 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 or whatever." And so I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So he and I were playing, and when I got up, he was like, "Okay," so he's like, "You wake up in the middle of the night, and when you get up, you discover that your paladin has been hogtied in a fireplace, like in the room, like we were in like ruins." And he's like, "Your paladin has been hogtied and is hanging from a stick, log, whatever, in the fireplace." And I'm like, "Huh, interesting." So I just kind of let it go, and I go off and do my adventure. And when I came back, I proceeded to pickpocket the paladin and then set a fire trap under him. So when the whole group got back together, now I should emphasize that this is somebody that, while he is a very nice person, he's not a great D&D player with other people. Like, we have a really hard time playing with him because he just is so like, everything is how he wants to do it. And so I set a fire trap under him. And so the next time the group was all back together, he wakes up, and of course we had to roll and see if we woke him up. None of us ever did. And so he wakes up the next morning, discovers that he's hogtied, finally gets somebody to cut him down, and he sets off the fire trap. So yeah, that was fun. Probably changed my alignment a little bit, but I didn't care.
Worth it.
I mean, I was a rogue, whatever. That benefited me at the time.
Actually, the question was like, what's something that joke that became like in the game, right?
Yeah.
Canon. Okay. The RFKS just said it, something about roles in chat, and that reminded me. Waffles' character in Outcast and Outclassed Arc 2, basically, Waffles has this ridiculous luck, specifically with Roll20. I don't understand it, but he cannot roll bad on important rolls at all. And I think he rolled at one point, especially when he GMs, but this wasn't a GM moment. But he has rolled like 5 nat 20s in a session. Like, it is off the charts wild. And it showed for the character because every time we're waiting for Arc 2, his character to fail. We're like, come on, he's got to fail at some point. And without fail, he doesn't fail. And so we got to this point where like, okay, well, Waffles can't roll bad when it matters. So now Arc 2 is perfect and cannot make mistakes. And this became a character trait. Now everybody just, that's what happens. And if anything happens that's not great, no, it didn't. Arc 2 refuses. It's not fair. Teach me your ways, Waffles.
Just pay Roll20, you know.
Okay, got it.
Slide him a few
Easy.
bucks. Have a paid account.
Same game. I'll just give a quick one. It wasn't really. It was like an in-game joke that became in-game canon rather than an offhand joke. But Arc doesn't really want or have any friends very purposely. And a lot of the party is trying to like make friends with him. And so he went through somebody told him this, I blame Duval again. Somebody told him that making friends was like casting a spell. And so he developed a secret handshake with Hideaki, which is Duval's character, and said some words. And then like Duval himself and the character were like getting excited. They're like, oh, like this is cool. We're becoming friends, et cetera, et cetera. And at the end, Ark was like, yeah, we did the somatic and verbal components. Let's cast a spell now.
And when it wasn't an actual spell.
Yeah, when it
Didn't
wasn't an
happen.
actual spell. And so now Hideaki says he's been Ark's friend for like 3 seconds.
That's cute.
Perfect.
I can't think of it. Name.
Okay. So we have a question from Dungeon Glitch. Dungeon Glitch would like to have us describe your favorite or most memorable scene setting from any game you have been a part of. Like, for example, a funhouse on fire.
Scene setting.
I can mention this one. Ty is in chat and he was GMing the game. It was an Aether and Steamworks game, and all I will say is that we had ginormous tree-sized pencils come shooting out of tree-sized pencils basically come shooting through a room in our space station. That was not good, but it was really fun.
I'll try to match it to the answer in the question. A haunted house that plays music.
Trying to think of a good one so someone else can.
Siren Sonnet said that is terrible.
A carnival ride that was actually a portal to hell.
Oh, yikes.
Ooh. That's like a nightmare of mine.
My brain is crapping out, so I'm just gonna go with one of the most recent ones that I thought was really cool, which is and it kind of stays along the same theme as everyone else, which is the literal circus of fear.
Mm.
Yeah,
Your brain might be having trouble because you've got
Yeah,
There's
there's
something
something
up
on.
here.
It's.
I got
I'm
what?
sure it's great. It's.
Oh,
Don't worry
okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I keep
You
drooling.
got it. You got it. When you moved, you got it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, no.
All right.
I think only because of how the players ended up taking it. Minor spoilers for the Strength of Thousands campaign. If anybody's running that or watching O&O, there is this really cool large tree stump that was that a library was made inside of the tree stump, and then was abandoned, and there was just like books and everything strewn everywhere, and these little ink mitflets, so everything that just ate the books and were covered in ink were all throughout this space. And then after they cleared it out, they were like, we're actually gonna live here, and so they took it over, and they now live in this like giant tree trunk, and I think that's really cool.
I love that.
I actually, my brain, a light bulb went off, if you will, for some reason. And I just thought of actually, there's a side story we did with Digiverse, and it was taking place in our own rendition of Toy Town, and it got intense real quick. The Pillow Fort district is not as cuddly or kind as it seems. It's cutthroat as shit. So yeah, that was amazing.
I love that.
Pillow Fort District. Rip.
I feel like there's gonna be people that are stealing that
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
It would go good in Babies and Broadswords.
Oh, I
Mhm.
have that game. It's on my to play list at some point.
I just did a playtest the other day for the new Kickstarter.
Nice.
Fire. Yeah, it's great. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it looks really like easy to pick up and learn. And
Yeah, and it was a blast. I think I laughed the entire time.
nice. Ty's just throwing questions into chat. It's great. I love it. All right. So right now I think we will pause for a quick break. And we'll join back with questions when we come back. So stick around if we haven't gotten to your question yet. We will, once we get back from break, we'll give everybody a chance to refill drinks and use the bathroom and let their dog out and, you know, make sure kids aren't breaking things and stuff like that. So we will see you in just a few minutes. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
I'm going live so people can see what I've been putting up with and behind the scenes.
I'm just a little cat.
I'm just
Yeah, that's just a little
freaking
cat.
bunny. Just
That's
a freaking
me.
bunny
No,
trying to
I'm a
get some
cat.
work done.
That's my little buddy, Todd.
Yeah.
Oh my
Waffles, that
God.
was fucking
Just a little
classic
cat.
response right there. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
know what
one
it
of
is,
the
you just
one of the
adore
fun
glass
things
little
about
kitty.
using meat is all of the fun stuff that you can do on the screen, and this
Truth.
just is like taking it to another level because this is
Come
really
here,
the
come in.
first. Yeah, this is
Come in
really the
close,
first
close.
group that's gotten into these big time. So
Come here. Come here.
oh.
Don't know
Oh, no, my
why,
mouth-
but
my mouth got
Shannon's
sensitive
racket is just the absolute death of me. It's like tickling. I can't. Oh,
Next
I
time,
love it.
it's an email.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Waffles, his floating cat, is just it's
He's
great.
just floating away. He's like, bye, peace
I
out.
love it.
Oh, and there's Daisy's tail.
I love it. So wait, are we live actually?
We actually are live, yes.
I love it.
This is me in real life.
Yeah, it was actually
is
the
me in
other thing
fake
that was a filter. So yeah, AC Lawrence in chat. What did I come back to?
What do you want? What do you
from
want?
me?
You came back to the animated hell that Gamer Mom Luna's doing.
Such a good voice.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, we hope you all had a great break. Let's see. I don't even know if I can dive into these, especially because this question is a little more serious than some of the other ones we've had.
Wait, we gotta get serious. Hold on.
I got my eyes on
What's
you.
more serious than this? I'm ready.
I can see you now.
I really want to be able to use these, but every time I try to switch them, my whole screen freezes, so it just doesn't work quite as well for me to do it on here if everybody else is doing it too.
Wait, Spirit has an idea.
I was trying to see like what triggered it. Is it like me smiling? I think it's my
No,
hand.
it's your open mouth. Like,
Let's see.
Oh, like,
It's-
oh, I've had
I have an idea.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
now we know.
All
All right.
Can the French fries move on the screen? These are important questions. I must know. If you move around,
feel
like
like-
the French fries move.
They're wobbling.
Well, I'm glad you asked that.
There we go.
Oh, I can't even. Okay. We're gonna
No.
dive back in with RF
Hell yeah.
Chaos's question, Ty's third question, which is a little more serious. We all, at one point or another, have scheduling issues or have to quit campaigns early. What is one way you handle these sorts of things in the era of online friends to keep the group together? Oof.
Oh,
Oof.
ow.
Oof. Yeah, this is a sad question.
It is a sad question.
Yeah. Bring back the bunny, man.
Right?
We just cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, cry.
Yeah. I mean, just let it out. Just cry.
My best solution thus far has been to ensure it is a day that everybody has open. So like I have devolved to bi-weekly campaigns. Like bi-weekly Mondays, we all have that open. And then it's basically like, if you want to be in this campaign, you're there. This game is like, for the significant future, your Mondays. Now, if something comes up, it's your anniversary, like something real big, cool, miss it. I'm fine with that. But like, this is your plan.
I misheard you for a split second and thought you were saying to miss your anniversary, and I was like, oh.
I
knew,
mean,
like,
what's
I knew
more
that's not
important?
where you were going, but
two of my players recently played on their anniversary with us. So
That's true.
Somebody was about to switch to pancakes.
almost.
It's not allowed. This is the waffles and syrup only. I believe the question was specifically like, how do you handle after the breakdown of the group? Is that correct? Like of the scheduling, rather, not the group.
Oh, I thought it was like how to keep it from breaking down. My bad.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's just how do you handle it to keep the group together. It didn't specify like if it was like if it was to keep the group playing together or just socially interacting. Ty, I don't know if you want to chime in chat with a clarification on that. But
I have one more answer then.
go. Okay.
Yes.
Kill them.
Thank you.
Okay, that was it.
I will. So in the era of online games, there is no denying it is difficult. That is our very sad reality. And honestly, best practice is to keep a community together, basically. Yeah. So we try to set expectations. I think that's always the case. But in terms of whether it's, and I'm going to answer this in terms of like home game, not a professional stream, because I think those are very different categories.
Yeah.
When you have a home game and you have those expectations, again, like Waffles said, like we have ridiculously busy schedules, and the more it goes, the more it gets busy, and we know that. So yeah, we had to accept the reality that as much as I want to play weekly, that's just increasing the chances of it not happening. But if we schedule it bi-weekly, then we have that ability to schedule between other things, and then people prioritize it just a little bit more because of that lack of frequency. And we know that if you don't play one time bi-weekly, that means you're not playing for basically a month. And there's that slightly like different relationship to the getting together. If somebody can't come, or we it is someone's anniversary or something like that and they can't make it, being able to alternate plans with the other people so that you're still maybe hanging out that evening and playing some games or something that's not necessarily the or even a one shot, depending how many you are. There's other stuff you could do to at least keep that engagement going. One of the things that we found out that is, if you ask, because Waffles and I are a couple, and if we have other couples as well in the group, that if one person can't make it, that's usually half the group that can't make it because both sides of the couple can't make it. So keep that in mind. And if that's like, if you know that, then kind of schedule and plan around that as well.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you asked this question, Ty. I just wanted to let you know that as I've had lots of partners in my time, and half of them are dead. That makes it difficult to meet up. But the ones that ain't dead yet, especially with my Digimon game, we try to have everybody meet up at the same time each week, and if we can't, due to all the various things in life, one thing that we like to do, a couple things, is first if like one or two people are around and are not around, and everybody else still wants to meet up and either talk podcast stuff, or the future of the story is something we can talk about that, or another real interesting one that I've started to enjoy, that we've started to implement lately, is if not everybody can make it that night, that the remaining people that can make it, we meet up and we help build out the world through one shots. And it helps keep the content coming, helps keep everybody interested in playing, and just keeps it going and keeps it from just fizzling out. That's one thing that as a detective you never want to see. You never want to see the light fade from somebody's eyes.
You're saying if they ain't dead, you party on.
Exactly.
I just don't even know how to follow any of this.
I wasn't following that. That's why I put the hat down. I was
Yeah.
like, nope, nod.
See?
That's, yep. Tip the hat.
Yeah, basically I agree with that. And I think Syrup makes a good point too, that if it's a streamed game, like a streamed show game versus a home game, it's a really different, you're going to handle it very differently than if it's
Fair.
your home group of friends and you're playing, every other week or once a week or something like that, but I think that actually is an important conversation to have in a session 0. Like, what do you want to do if people's schedules get hectic and you can't keep going, or you have to miss a series of games, or even I don't play in this game, but my fiance runs a game on Mondays, and they for a while had like an established rule of, if this many people are not able to play, we still play. If this many people are not able to play, then we cancel for the week,
Yeah.
And it was really just to make sure that like people weren't saving time if they could be doing other stuff. But also, like, we also play in we say it's an every other week Blades in the Dark game, but it really isn't, because one is in Toronto, we're in New Hampshire, somebody else is in New York, and then another member of our group just moved to Hawaii and is probably going to miss like the next month or so. And so one of the things that we've been trying to do, in part because Blades in the Dark lends itself to this, is making the group big enough that like people can just kind of swap in and out as their schedule allows. So even if you run into something like that, you could, instead of playing like D&D or Pathfinder or something where it's really important for everybody to be there, you could look for a system that sort of lends itself to swapping people in and out based on the way that the game is designed. So you like Blades in the Dark, Monster of the Week, like any of those Powered by the Apocalypse types of games, they have like, you do whatever the mission quest is, and then you have downtime. And so, like, for example, I had to miss the last game that our Blades in the Dark people did. So at the very beginning, they just did all of their downtime stuff. What do you want to do? And then we got right into the rest of the game, and it was fine because I was like, oh, I'll just join in a couple minutes later, So they did all that stuff before I really even had to get involved. Like, I was there, but for me it was good because I got to hear more about what I missed. And then when we joined in, I was just like, oh yeah, my character was off visiting her sick grandmother last week.
Yeah. There's two things that made me think of, if I can add.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I ever do this is me trying to keep my thought in my head because I have ADHD. So there's two things that made me think of. One is making the call as well, if it's not working out. Because I think that there is something detrimental as well to kind of even though there's no ill intent, what I think ends up kind of coming out of it is kind of being strung along, and then not playing, and then not playing, and then not playing. So we had that happen to us recently in a home game. It was supposed to be casual. That expectation was set. So I'm very glad that everybody, and we were part of these the people as well that would cancel because he just had dental surgery, or like there's legitimate reasons on across the board. But what ended up happening is that we ended up not playing for quite a few months in a row. And the reality of that is looking at that situation and being like, we're enjoying this campaign, but it does not look like this group has the time for it right now. And that's okay. And then making that call and saying, whether we'll do something another time when our lives or schedules change, or maybe this day of the week doesn't work, or having those conversations. But I don't think the answer is like, oh, well, not next week then, next week then, next week then. Because at a certain point, you're also losing your passion for the game, for what the continuity of what's happening. There's like other impacts as well that you want to consider. That was one thing that I thought of too. What you mentioned was having a style of play that allows for that more flexibility. Makes me think of West Marches, which is actually what Waffles and I kind of met in, partially text-based, which doesn't always have to be that way. If you like it, that's a great option as well. We had a large enough group that we would play mostly through text throughout like the days of the week, whenever people were available. And we would just really be like, we were situated. The campaign does have to be set up for this, just for the record, where it does have to be for West Marches, where there's a large enough space where everybody exists and all make a difference and impact in this space. So we started off in like a town. We were just all a part of this town. And we would just, we could role play as much as we wanted with each other in different settings. We could go to the school, we could go to the inn, do whatever we want. And when enough happened that the GM was like, we should do a session, we would then schedule it based on the availability of the people. So whether that is, hey, we haven't done a session in a while, who's available on this time? Or it per the like, what's going on in the story, like these 4 people were involved in something, we schedule for those 4 people that should be doing an event or something like that. So that does allow for a lot of flexibility.
I think so much of it too depends on the group that you're doing this with, and then what the expectations are coming into it, and then also realizing that life changes for people. So if you start to have a situation where you're not able to get together as much as you were before, or you notice like it's certain people all the time that are having to back out or whatever, then being able to reevaluate and say, okay, is this something that you still want to do? How can we move this, like you said, looking for different days or times to do stuff and moving that around, but also just to kind of like balance the we're real people going through life and everybody has different situations, against the we're all committing to being in this space together, so we have to have some respect for the fact that this is our our time going in there. And then just sometimes it's just a matter of that, like rechecking in to say, okay, is this what you want to do? And what type of campaign is it? Is it a campaign where it's the same group of people who are playing a long-term, getting into the characters and really developing it? Or is it more of a like, we don't really care too much what happens with our characters from 1 to 1. We're just looking for big battles and whatever. It's like sometimes you have somebody in that group that doesn't fit the rest of the group in terms of what it is that they're looking for. So and then I just had one other thing too I wanted to add, is that like a lot of times if you have a Discord set up or whatever, but like we the ones that I'm in continuously, we use Discord for it, and just having an ongoing conversation that is not part of the actual campaign but is still gaming related here and there helps to keep those conversations flowing, and then dropping in those those game conversations too, but just that extra level of keeping that together, I think helps a lot. And just like anything else in life, just communicate. Communicate.
That's exactly what I was just going to follow up with too. Like, if you're the person whose schedule is changing, or you're noticing that your schedule has a lot of changes coming up a lot, it's just like let people know. Don't just be like, oh, I can't make it this week. Like, just be very honest with the rest of your group and be like, hey, I'm really sorry. My schedule is really nuts the next few weeks or for the next few months or whatever it is, and don't be afraid to be like, I need to back out for a little while. I want you all to keep playing, or whatever it is. But also, the other thing I was going to say, I feel like this type of thing falls to the GM a lot, I think, just by default, but it really doesn't have to. If you notice that there's somebody who's doing that a lot, like they're just not showing up, or they're consistently late, or they're like canceling at the last minute, then have a conversation with that person. Hey, I happen to notice like you seem to be having a really hard time when you're, trying to get to our sessions, you're canceling a lot. I just want to make sure everything's okay and make sure that this still works for you and that you're still interested in playing, because it might be that they don't want to play anymore, but they just don't know how to tell you. And so sometimes inviting that conversation, and don't always put it on the GM, because it's not always like the GM might not be the best person to have that conversation. Like, especially if you're putting together a group like, oh, I know Syrup and Syrup's going to bring Waffles and Waffles knows this other person. But if I'm running the game and I don't know this person that, Syrup invited, Waffles invited, whoever, the other person is, maybe Waffles is the one who should have that conversation, and not me who doesn't know them.
Absolutely.
I certainly would have to agree.
Yep.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Would.
I've been waiting this entire conversation just for that one pun. So I am complete now.
I'm proud of you.
Had it in the trunk, let it out.
All right, let's see. Let me grab. Let's see. Okay, our next question is. Let's see.
That looks good.
So,
Getting ready.
Yep.
Okay.
Damn.
This question is from Therapy and Dragons.
Hey, what's up?
What was your most heart-wrenching moment in a game?
Come on.
oh,
I have a complex relationship with emotion, so I'm gonna sit this one up.
That's fair. Okay, so I'll share mine. I will share it for several reasons. One, it totally ties into the conversation we were just having. Two, it involves somebody that's in chat. They were part of the same game. It was a streamed game, and it was back like during quarantine, but it was like quarantine was kind of starting to let up a little bit. The world was kind of starting to open back up again, and life was just hectic, and I was in like 4 streams a week at that point, and doing the single mom thing, and it was not easy. And so finally I was like, something has to give. I just don't have the mental capacity to do this right now. And so the character that I was playing at the time was a werewolf in a game with a bunch of like, vampires and a changeling and that sort of thing. We were playing a Savage Worlds World of Darkness crossover. So we were using the Savage Worlds rule set with the World of Darkness lore. And so out of game, I had a conversation, just said, I'm really sorry. I don't have the capacity to keep doing this. And, again, kind of what we were talking about, yeah, Ty just said it in chat. It was Claudia. Yep, it was Claudia. And so off screen, this was a streamed game. Off screen, we had like a group chat where we could talk in character and kind of piece things together and that sort of thing. And because it was in between streams that I sort of had this epiphany that I just couldn't handle doing that many streams a week. Claudia in that chat, basically what it was everybody was asleep more or less except for her. In the previous game, in the previous episode that we had streamed, somebody had a weapon that malfunctioned, and Claudia, being a werewolf, didn't really use a weapon, but had like a 9mm And so she left it on the bedside table of the person whose weapon malfunctioned, just with a note that said, "You need this more than I do." And she just packed her stuff and left. Because that was very in character for her. Like, she was just not she was not like a happy, friendly, I like everybody. She was more of like why am I here? This doesn't involve me, angry person. And doing that whole thing of like leaving the game, like, broke my heart. I was in tears doing it. So it was probably good for me that it didn't happen on stream, but it also fit with the flow of the story. So for the sake of the stream, they could start the next episode with just being like, she's gone. We don't know where she went. She just left. So it kind of worked out in that regard.
Because it goes quite in line with that, I want to talk about my goodbye to a character. But it was definitely heart-wrenching as well. And to kind of, the reality was, I'll talk about the situation of like the campaign ending, really was what it was, and having to say goodbye to this character. But for that context, I need to talk about like what this character meant to me, without getting too emotional. But it was so when I before we even started streaming, before I even met Waffles, I had like picked up Dungeons and Dragons for the first time with a good friend of mine back home, and was just like, let's just try this out. We keep hearing about it. Let's just do it ourselves. And I played it with like a bunch of friends. And it was fine, but it was really casual, and it was lots of jokes, and like nothing serious came of it. It was a lot of just jokes around the table, very casual, very light, no heavy roleplay, nothing. And I came into that being like, this has so much potential. I love storytelling. I want to see if I can find something that really lets me explore the storytelling aspect that you can get with D&D. And so I joined, and I went online and completely randomly joined this group. That group was where I met Waffles for the first time, was online. And I came in with a character that was a tiefling. And again, I made this character with no knowledge of anything that was going on in that server. And then I jumped in, and I happened to be the only tiefling in that server. And I happened to be so perfectly connected to this one random guy's character who was a little strange. And I don't know what he was, but he was a really good writer. And that was Waffles. And so it was really felt like luck and everything aligned for me to make this character, to meet him. And we got really close, both interpersonally, and a lot of stuff happened in my life that throughout, I don't know, how long was that campaign in total? Like a year, 2 years, something like that.
I think like a year going on too.
Yeah, which may not seem like a lot, but again, this was text-based, where I got to be in the shoes of this character almost every single day, not just once a week, not just once every twice, like 2 times a week or whatever. It was all the time. And so I really built this really important character that in a weird way was really, really reflective of my heart, because the character fell for a character that over time I didn't even realize I fell for the player behind that character too. And it was just really, really meaningful to me. And then when that campaign ended, I was a mess, because I wasn't ready to say goodbye to the character that was, who I defined a lot of our relationship with as well. It was very, very, very heavy, and like a weird talk about character bleed and stuff like that. And like when we would perform, that was a whole mess. And I think that was really, really heartbreaking for me, because as much as I wanted like a happy ending, I also wanted to respect the character that is not me. And I wanted to like have it be a good character ending. And I think the ending of that campaign ended up being not this like, oh, and happily ever after. It was like, we saved our town, but the entirety of the town was transported to somewhere completely different. And it was this like ending yet to a new beginning kind of a thing. And it was very bittersweet and very like complex. And it was just, I was a mess.
You were processing.
Yeah.
Now, let me just ask a clarifying question. This is could you repeat the question again, just so I can make sure I understand correctly before I answer?
Basically the most heart-wrenching story.
Okay, story. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was right. Well, off the top of my head, one of the ones I can think of is when I played. I think it was my first Monster Hearts game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my first. I don't. Ty, I think you can answer that in chat. I think it was my first Monster Hearts game ever. I played The Witch, and I had just recently. I don't even know if everybody that I was playing with knew, but I just recently lost my grandmother, who was like everything to me growing up. And in that game, my character had was dealing with kind of the same thing, but a little more supernatural in nature. But yeah, was still dealing with loss and familial stuff with grandmothers and whatnot. And there were a few scenes. It sucks that the videos for it are scattered and or completely lost, because there was a really an amazing scene that I think was just powerful as shit. And through halfway through the scene, I started crying, and it was like perfect for the character, because that's he was emotional and he was crying, but it was like, I'd say probably like 10% me, oh, what will my character do, and then the majority was me actually getting into the headspace of the character and the scene, and just dealing with my own stuff and getting emotional too. And it was rough.
Gaming is, or can be, a really, healing thing. I think it all gives us the opportunity to process what we're going through, but slightly separated from it. So you can go through those. I walk with grief every day. So I utilize play for both for the escapism aspect of it and also for the processing of it. And I just think it's a really unique thing that we do, getting on here and pretending to be whatever it is that we want to be, and to be able to kind of like take what we're going through in our life and bring enough of that in there that we can work with it and heal it in a way that's not so sharp and rough around the edges. I think it's beautiful that you had that space to do that.
It's a really, really amazing tool. And being so passionate about it is why I love what we do, honestly. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the whole concept of this is going to go off on a tangent, but I don't care.
Tangent.
It's why I love.
Fine.
What's that?
Nothing.
He was mathing.
I was being dumb.
Were you being dumb or were you being smart?
Yes.
Arguable.
Yeah. So it leads me off on the whole idea of the fact that like gaming can be therapeutic, but it is not therapy. And there's a huge difference. And well, let me backtrack. There are people who can do therapy using games, but not everyone is equipped to do that. So to the point of having it be therapeutic, like, I think that's good. But if you find yourself in a position where you're stumbling on things that you're like, oh, I need to work on this. Oh, this is something I didn't realize was a trigger for me. Like that might be an indicator that there's something bigger going on that you really need to like seek some professional help. And that's not a bad thing. Like, it's a good thing that something helped you figure that out so you can work on it. But I think you should never go into playing a game with the expectation that it is going to fix you or, like you can't treat your friends as your therapists.
Think of the weight that puts on the GM. Like that's not,
Exactly.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's such an undue amount of stress that nobody needs. I think it's therapeutic in the way that like getting together and going to the movies with a friend can be therapeutic. And, going out for coffee with friends can be therapeutic. It's not therapy. So while I absolutely agree with what you said, Shannon, I want to make that very clear delineation for people.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. And let's also say like it's not a fix,
Yeah.
right? Like none of
Right.
it is a fix. You're just working on, being human is a very complicated thing. And we play games because being human is a very complicated thing and this is fun to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes I don't want to be a human much, and so I'm a tiefling instead, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, which can we branch off into why do any of y'all play a human? I need somebody to explain this to me. You have 800 options of playing different things. I play a human all damn day. I do not want to play one when I'm in a game.
I got a good one. All right.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how this feels for a lot of people, but I'm autistic, so I have failed playing a human for 33 years so far. So at least I can succeed in game.
I like that. The
So
way
it's
I see that,
empowering.
it can be
A little bit, yeah.
I think for me, I've seen people play humans, and I've played one as well. I still have a lot of like more fantastical. Like I definitely personally lean into the fantastical of stories and tropes and things like that I enjoy exploring. But there is something also very interesting from a storytelling perspective of being the what's the word? An oasis, a solace of normal in a fantasy world, and seeing how that, like, how would you interact? Exploring that is also interesting.
What if I were there?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isekai.
That makes me want to go down the whole tangent of what is success because, you're saying it. There's also some in the chat, not successful. I can be successful, in game or whatever. It makes me want to go down this whole what is success tangent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We put so much extra pressure on ourselves. It's a lot.
yeah.
Success for
There's
me
a chat.
is... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's a chat comment from Alec that says, I don't playing human who consistently get 8 hours of restful sleep. That's a real fantasy for me.
Yeah.
I laughed at that. I was like, yep, for sure.
Success for me, and like whether it be TTRPG or life, is just like being able to put something into a thought, like, I'm gonna go to this person and have a conversation, and then do it, and it not go backwards. That is success. Like just being able to act on a thought correctly, air quote correctly.
Knowing you and knowing, I would translate that to be, I think to answer your question, Shannon, is like everybody's success is going to be different. It's going to be whatever they struggle with in their lives actually could be played off and done differently and have a different experience in a fantasy world. And sometimes that's a relief that you just need for your mental health.
All right, I have a question. Real quick, can I please?
Yeah.
Quick fire.
Whoa. That's not how that works here. No. Hi. You been drinking tonight? Huh?
Yep.
Huh?
Yes.
And you didn't share? All right.
I brought some for the whole class.
Lord Richter just said success is not getting banned by Luna.
That's true.
Yeah, I've been skirting that line
I'm
for
successful.
years.
I keep inviting you back, Beaz.
Quick fire question.
Yeah.
What is, in Pathfinder we call it ancestry, but I'm going to use the word race for lack of better words. What is a race of a character that you want to play and haven't?
Ooh.
kind of piggybacking off the human. Mine, thus far, I'll start off. Mine is Flesh Warp in Pathfinder 2e, which is just like this amalgamation of occultic like flesh put together.
It is what you would imagine if you hear flesh warp.
I have two answers for that. One is just to be any kind of like, man, I just had the name for it and now it escaped me. But a cat person. I want to be a cat.
Like a tabaxi.
Like a-
folk.
Tabaxi, thank you.
Tabaxi.
Jeez, I don't know why that brain just was like, nah, I'm going to sleep. The reason I say two is because my other answer, I kind of had a tiny, minuscule, microscopic time playing them, but it wasn't with the right group in the right setting. But
Right.
With passion, would love to play a mind flayer.
It's a good one. You're muted.
Yeah,
Shannon.
you're muted, Shannon.
I am muted. Sorry, I muted when I took a drink and I forgot. I was just commenting that I want to do a whole monster campaign where it's like, we're playing all of the mind flayer and all that kind of stuff. But basically all the animal races I want to do, and Daggerheart stuff that just came out. I want to play all of those, the ribbits and everything else.
Yeah.
Always the tabaxi. I haven't, as many times as I've been a cat in whatever Skyrim game or whatever I'm playing, I've not actually played it in a TTRPG, in game like this. So
Come over to Pathfinder 2e. You can be a dog as well, a shoonie.
Yeah.
I'm in. All the animals. I want to be an animal and collect them all.
I quickly looked through the Pathfinder 2e ancestries to get I'm like, I don't know, I've played a lot, I don't quite know to answer this because it's quick fire, and I will settle on Kunrasu. Just because it's not something I ever considered. And if you don't know what it is, I will read it very briefly. Kunrasus are shards of cosmic force given consciousness who construct intricate exoskeletons to interface with the mortal world. They're cool looking. I'll send a link of a picture, and I don't know how I would play it. It seems like a challenge, and I don't know how I would fit it into a campaign, and that's why I want to play it.
Like
That sounds
cosmic
awesome.
Space Gundams.
Oops, all Kunrasu.
I'm in.
I posted it in our little Discord if you want to share.
All right, I will put it in the chat.
I gotta check this out.
Oh my goodness.
Also, I think a fun girl
Whoa,
would be fun.
holy sweet mother of
Wow.
Fleshy 2.0.
Kinda, yeah. They're just
I also want to play
Touch.
Humblewood. I
Yeah,
haven't
that
played
looks
anything
cute.
there
Yeah.
yet.
those are ridiculous.
I bought the book.
And I would play forever.
I
bought
have
the Maybe I'll run one.
yeah, I would like to play like Humblewood, Root, like any of those, but
Yeah.
actually I've done an animal game with Waffles and Syrup. That was a long time ago, but we had a good
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I played a combat wombat.
Combat Wombat. Oh, I loved that Combat Wombat so much.
That's amazing.
I want to play all. I just want to try so many more systems because I feel like it makes me think outside the box, makes me think of how I'm playing a little bit differently, and it gives me such a good feel. And I just hire me to play more different games, please. Thank you.
Yeah. I hadn't played anything basically but D&D until last year. And then I've been just jumping in on all kinds of stuff. I played a raccoon the other day. So it's it's great.
I can't think of anything that's out there that I'm really like, oh, I definitely want to play that at some point, because I've been playing more games lately that have allowed me to kind of be whatever I want to be. So, yeah, I currently I am in a podcast and I am playing. I don't want to say a Dragonborn because it's not. I'm deeming them like a dragon folk kind of person because it's like a kid-friendly non-D&D game. I mean, not that D&D's not, but you know what I mean. But yeah, the way that I describe her is she's a teenage Lisa Frank colored dragon folk who wears heelys and skates on rainbows.
Hell yeah. Sounds like
So
rocket power.
yeah. Yep. It's pretty awesome. So I like the fact that I've been playing a lot more stuff that like just lets me kind of do what I want.
Absolutely.
Sorry, we derailed everything.
No,
I
it's
know
okay.
that
Actually,
Yeah, my
a bunch
bad.
of questions.
It's fine. We had a bunch of questions that we didn't have the chance to get to, which is okay. It happens, so I'm okay with that. But we are at the point now where I want to make sure we get to go around again. Everybody, just remind us of who you are, where we can find you on social media. If there's anything that you want to promote, share, talk about, this is a great time to do that. So we'll go in the reverse order of when we started, and we'll start with Waffles this time.
Okay. I am Waffles. You can find one half of Waffles Maple Syrup. You can find me there. If you want to do anything for us, check out Outcast and Outclassed. That's our main flagship show. And subscribe to our YouTube. We're like 70 subscribers from 1,000. So
That's
We're
awesome.
Help
Custom.
us hit it.
yeah, close to monetizing and stuff.
Yeah, help us
Cool.
help us do that.
How do people help you do that? Because most people don't know.
Subscribe. YouTube.com/c/waffles maple syrup, and then just subscribe. It's free.
Free subscriptions.
Yay. Awesome. Well, Waffles, thank you for coming on and hanging out tonight. It's always a pleasure to get to hang out. Syrup, anything you would like to add?
Yeah. So we at Waffles Maple Syrup love what we do. One of the things we failed to mention that I need to be that's really creepy. That I need to be better at is we're really proud to be an award-winning show with Outcast and Outclassed. And we want to keep that going. So I want to make that little call to action of the Crit Award nominations that are currently open. They're open until May 31st. So there's so many wonderful creators out there, so please remember to celebrate those creators and all their hard work. What we do isn't free, and like whatever accolades and stuff that we can get for the hard work that we put in to make these productions for you means so much. So I highly encourage everybody to go to the Crit Awards. I think it's critawards.org, and vote for your favorite creators. And if that's us, we're wonderful. If that's anybody else that's worked hard for it, I'm sure that everybody here deserves it. So please just do that and help celebrate some of your favorite creators.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Syrup. Again, always a pleasure to hang out with you. And I hope to see you at a con again soon.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Shannon.
It's me. So I am all over social media, pretty much with imaginif. imaginif. I'm mostly on Threads. My Twitch channel is imaginif media, and we are trying to support all of those who create, play, and heal. We've got a creator spotlight that runs on Tuesdays. So if you are somebody who, like on this group right here, does something awesome out there in the world and you would like to be a guest, there is a form on my Linktree, which everything and all my links are at imaginif. Again, imaginif.shop. And there's a form on there that you can submit if you want to be on. So my biggest thing is I want to try to highlight as many of you as possible. So that's cool. And I've got a list on there of all the stuff that I'm on. I'm going to be doing Werewolf on Hampod's Twitch in a little bit. And then we also have Goose Poop's Creator Coop that is just about to start out. And that's going to be a deep dive into creating games and what goes into it. And so we're going to have a bunch of game designers and creators on there having those conversations as well. So yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff going. We've got a Discord. So yeah, come on in and let's do some stuff together.
Awesome. Shannon, thank you for coming on and hanging out tonight. I will actually be on Shannon's show at the end of the month, so you can come back and scope that out if you don't get to check it out beforehand. Beaz,
Yes.
whatever character you are today, tell us about where we can find you on social media.
All right. I'm gonna actually. No, I'm stuck. I tried to. No, I did. All right. Well, damn. I guess this is what you're gonna be here. Uh, again, I am Beaz, your happy, helpful harbinger of hype. I mean, if I call or plug something, I really do want to plug Across the Plains Digiverse. It is my first like podcast that I'm editing and like running, and it is I just have a phenomenal crew telling just an amazing story, and I just want more people to check it out. You know, if it's not your thing, that's fine, but yeah, please wherever podcasts are sold, except for Apple, because Apple sucks and they want me to like give them a pay method before I can put my podcast there. But everywhere else is like, hey, yeah, do your thing. So yes, please check it out. You don't have to. People keep asking me, oh well, I don't know that much about Digimon. Neither do we, but we're having a damn good time telling the story.
It sounds like they should listen to a podcast and learn more.
Yeah,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
you know, and like everybody's doing all this like cool stuff with like awards and shit, and I kind of want to do that one day, but just check it out. I'd be very. Oh shit! Oh,
Watch
my
it.
manager's here.
Watch the
My manager-
podcast.
Sorry, my
Listen.
manager's here. Yep. But yeah, I mean that's the main thing I want to plug right now. Also, give Ty all the love and support in the world because he's a phenomenal being, and I play games on his channel, RF Chaos, and he did the art for our logo for Digiverse.
He did all of this art on the screen as well.
Ty is just
Heck yeah.
unbelievably
I did some of our
ridiculous.
art for season 1 of Outcast and Outcast as well. Look at that.
Too talented.
Ty's a super phenomenal artist, so hire
Yep.
him.
Yep. But yeah, that's my main thing. I'm gonna be trying. I also do hosting and couch commentary for GDQ, mainly for the Black speedrunning events. So we have a speedrunning event coming up in Juneteenth. It's gonna be I want to say the weekend of the 22nd. But yeah, there's a lot of great races, a lot of fun stuff there, and there's a lot of other stuff I can talk about, but I'm not going to right now because I can talk forever. So just follow me on social media at biggest_Beaz. And that's it for me.
Well, thank you all so much. This has been a blast, and I swear it has nothing to do with all of the filters that we were using today. Well, I say we. I was not, unless it was before we started.
In spirit.
I am Gamer Mom Luna. This has been Tales from the Tavern. You can catch us here the first Sunday night of every month. Big shout out, though, starting May 31st. It's going to be the first day of our 3-day annual Extra Life Charity Stream Weekend Extravaganza. This will be year 4. So we are pretty excited. We're going into this year strong. We've already received over $600 in donations. So our goal is $2,000. So we would love to get another roughly $1,400 over the course of that Friday through Sunday. That Friday night, there will be Chris, who kind of traditionally has been hosting that game. He will be picking up and running a game that's currently being betaed right now, so that will be really cool to check that out. Matt was in chat; he's working on that, so that will be fun. And then Saturday morning, we're going to have a Brindlewood Bay game. We are going to have, and that's the one that Shannon's in, so you'll have to check that out. That is going to be run by Ryan, aka Run DMG, on TikTok and Instagram. Let's see, we have a Monsters and Mutants, something like that.
Mutants and Mastermind.
That's the one. Yeah.
Which
We're
is
running that
super
Saturday
fun.
afternoon. That's being GM'd by Jack Kellum, also known as Jack Gogsbane on social media. We have a D&D 5e game coming up Saturday night. That's going to be DM'd by Star Shinobi. And I'm in that one, and that's got a really fun group of people also. I'm very excited. That's got
Star
David
Shinobi.
Tilstra and lots of other people.
I love David Tilstra.
Lots of other people who are regulars on this stream. So that will be fun. And then on Sunday afternoon, we're going to have, I believe, another D&D 5e game. So yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. We'll be wrapping it up with Tales from the Tavern that Sunday night. And that will be really fun because the group that's going to be on that night was the same group that did our PAX East panel. So that will be a lot of fun. That will be, that's me, Duval, Shannon Roby, Juicy Garland, and Sweet Rosie B. So that'll be a good time.
I love it all. I love all of them.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, and Jack Gogsbane. Yeah, he'll be back too. So, yeah, so really good time. So come back, check that out at the end of the week. Oh my goodness, Chocolate Girl, thank you so much for the raid. Good to see you. Hope you all are doing well. And let's see. And then also you can catch me on the Stories RPG podcast right now. That's where I am playing my Lisa Frank colored teenage dragon folk. So you can find that wherever podcasts are sold. And I know it's on Apple because that's the link he keeps giving me to promote to everybody. And I say, well, I listen on Spotify because I don't use Apple products. So yeah, so I know you can get it pretty much wherever podcasts are sold. Chocolate Girl, thank you so much for the raid. Unfortunately, we are just about wrapping up. So we are actually going to take the love and we are going to share it. We're going to go over and raid Rage Cage Games. If you know Cage, she is also part of the TTRPG space. She's currently playing Night in the Woods. So we will go over there and say hi and hope you all have a great rest of your week and month. And we'll catch you up at the end of the month. Have a great one, everybody.
I should go.